one thing I started looking at is my little AI bot goes out there and it finds everything that's taking place. And it says, Leon, you probably need to pay attention to this right now when it comes to trending topics. And as I started researching how the war is affecting the housing market, I knew I had to share it. Let's go.
As the conflict continues, experts are warning there could be an impact on this year's spring housing market.
Yeah, local realtors call it a buyer's market right now and say they're already seeing the impacts. ABC 10's Gabriel Porras has a closer look.
As the flowers bloom and the sun shines more often, these signs normally don't stay up for long.
Usually spring is our launch of our season, but with everything that's going on, it's been a little slow. I have probably 7 or 8 listings that are coming on.
20-year Central Valley realtor Lance McCann says the listings aren't the problem. And as recently as the last week of February, mortgage rates were dropping to the lowest point in over 3 years, just under 6%.
Now, with the conflict, they shot up to 6.35, so there's a little uncertainty in the market.
Uncertainty is creating a lot of anxiety.
Stanislaus State economics professor Goche Sotomir says with the war in Iran, uncertainty goes beyond the housing market.
Okay, I'm going to slow it up right there, and I'm going to preach this message to you, which you will always get from the Real Estate Lunchbox. You will always get it from this channel. Uncertainty is what makes you money. Uncertainty is what establishes you, what roots you in. Buyers need to buy right now because the sellers are uncertain and the market is leaning towards them. And if they're uncertain about where their job would be economically, will they fire me because of AI? They could be firing me. You need to get it now and then figure out how to keep it if that's really what you want to do. That's the most logical. Well, let me know it's not logical. It's actually anti-logic. It goes against logic completely because you will wonder, how in this chaos can we make money? Now, trading stocks, I learned volatility on futures trading is where the money's made. Let me set up that buy right at this point and let it shoot up. And when it shoots up past that buyer mark, it'll keep tick, 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 tick on that Russell. And I'll jump out the play because it's going to drop back down. It's going to drop. But guess what? I made money from my starting point when the market entered up to that. Look, we talking stock. I'm talking real estate. Let's go back into this. But the truth is the spring buying season normally is the hottest season for real estate. But it's actually stalling in some market areas. Not every market area. I'm in Atlanta. Atlanta is still number 4 in the country for first-time home buyers by Zillow recently. In today's market, speed and liquidity aren't just advantages. They're everything. We specialize in 100% rehab funding, built specifically for investors who are ready to move fast and scale bigger. No more high down payments. We provide the capital to take your project from distressed to sold, so your cash stays in your pocket, ready for the next opportunity. Don't let funding be the reason your business isn't growing. Click the link in the description. And now, back to the video. Existing home sales fell to about a 9-month low with the buyer count rising. Well, actually, barely above the all-time pandemic low. Well, the all-time pandemic low of buyers? That's what they said. But the Iran mortgage rates bounced back, like he said, up to about 6.5%. We were under 6, of course. All driven by fears, and people want to sit on the sidelines. 78% of these metros are now a buyer's market. 78% of the metros are a buyer's market. I am advocating and pushing for buyers. Matter of fact, go to my off-market fixer-upper buyers list. Find yourself a fixer-upper property, okay? You might see the commercial when I edit this, but who cares? But buy yourself a fixer-upper. Add one in. Don't look at the job. Don't look at the position, the income. Oh, gosh, my job might leave me. You get that damn asset, and you dig down, and your job has you because you have some skills. Everybody has some skills. Go and skill stack. Take whatever skill you do and you add AI, learn how to do that, add that on top of it, learn some other sales skills because selling is a skill, marketing is a skill. What I'm doing right now is still a skill. I have to struggle sometimes. I don't want to do it, stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't feel like it right now. But I think about you. I'm like, how many people can I actually share a different perspective on what's going on? But you stack that and you go in. because this is the best time to actually do it. The war is killing, I believe it is true, killing the housing market, but the smart buyers are going to celebrate.
Materials are going up. Cost of transporting lumber is having an impact. So buyers are refraining from buying a house.
I haven't really seen people back out per se. They're just more cautious, right? They're cautious to their payment. With gas prices being higher, it's putting more pressure on people's spending capacity.
Experts warn it could be a while until that changes.
Even though if there would be a ceasefire now, the effects would be long lasting, more than a year.
An impact beyond the busy season, which is why realtors are getting ready.
If you are a buyer, you're in a pretty good position because you have a little negotiating power. If you're a seller, you really got to put your best foot forward.
In stock.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut that. I got one more video for you also. I'm not gonna be long on running through these. Let's go ahead and go through this one right here too.
The all-important spring housing market is well underway, but the war with Iran and its impact on the U.S. economy have thrown a massive wrench in buyer demand. Buyers are more concerned about the economy and mortgage rates than they are about home prices.
And that is going to stop a lot of buyer competition. So remember when during the pandemic, I remember it was a fix and flip that I did. I was done one of my flips and I'm done with the flip, put it on the market. Damn, I guaranteed I probably had about 15 offers on that property. 15 offers. 15 offers. It is. Of course I went with the cash deal. Of course I went with the people that were closing it in 2 weeks. Of course. It took me like 3-4 months to fix that thing up, to rehab it. You take advantage now because unlike then when I had 15 deals, my financial structure of the deal that I put out, the house, how I price it, if it's owner finance, if it's anything creative, that's the only thing that's going to help the seller now. So that means you have less people competing with for that house. If the house is good, don't come to me and say, Leon, you said it's a buyer's market. I went to bid on this this modern home in Atlanta down near Krog Street or off of the Beltline, and they wouldn't take it for the $150,000. Oh no! Yeah, because it's probably worth about 7 to 8. It's still near the Beltline. Some properties are just hot, and it doesn't matter where they are. But the reality of it, that's not every property. And even the properties that are hot doesn't mean that everybody, that the buyers are jumping on it. There's a bunch of buyers that want it. It doesn't mean that. So you find what you like, you make your list, you put your 5 or 10 together. Look, the realtor said 10. What? You bet? Yeah, I said 10. Rated from the number one, from the most desirable to the least desirable, and you go look at those properties, and you make some fucking lowball offers, and you lowball the hell out of them, bro. I'm telling you, you better. If you don't, you're gonna feel sad, and your wife might hit you upside the head if you're a dude. I'm telling you, she might be like, "Bro, we could have did better from this." And I give you full permission, if you are in your due diligence, to cancel if you find something that's better and you can get it for less.
According to real estate agents responding to the quarterly CNBC Housing Market Survey. Just 9% of agents said their buyers were most concerned about home prices, a sharp drop-off from the previous quarter's 18%. This even as nearly twice as many agents reported home prices rising in Q1 versus Q4. The economy led even though mortgage rates during the quarter jumped sharply from a low of 5.99% on the 30-year fixed the day before the war started to now around 6.6%.
So even at 6.6%, everybody wants to make money. So stop telling me everybody don't want to make money. Everybody wants to make money. Let this block my face, because if it blocks it, at least I know you're getting it. Okay, so nationally, there are about 43% more sellers than buyers right now. So about 600,000 more sellers than buyers on the market, and this is from Redfin. That's the second largest gap ever recorded in the last 13 years by Redfin, and they're tracking it. Only topped by December's 2025 all-time record of 45.2%. Sellers are desperate. Buyers have the leverage, and they haven't seen this type of leverage in decades, okay? Decades. I'm just trying to tell you so that you know. Let's go to this other point. I'm putting the points together. So you can't say Leon didn't tell me. Just 1.93 million home buyers were in the market in March. That's barely above, what, 1.38 million of all time, recorded by Redfin. Okay? April 2020 was when they did that, when the pandemic started. Redfin has tracked this data for the last 13 years. And we're essentially back to the pandemic floor. I'm just giving you these sources so you don't think I'm just talking smack to you. Fewer competing buyers, no bidding war, room to negotiate price, ask for concessions, demand inspection repairs be taken care of. Do those things because this is your advantage in the market. 38 of the 49 most populous U.S. metros are now buyers markets. That's up from 29. That's up from 29 a year ago. Just 5 are still sellers market, which is down from 9 in 2025. And this is all on Redfin. I'm just giving you the data. The strongest buyers markets: Miami, more sellers than buyers; Nashville, 119%; Austin, Texas, 112%; San Antonio, man, 109; Las Vegas, 101. Let me tell you, Atlanta still number 4, first-time home buyers. Essentially 2 for 1 every seller surplus. Atlanta just flipped from a late balanced market to an early buyer's market. And this is off of Fox News per Realtor.com. Atlanta is one of the top 8 buyer's markets in the country right now. I want all my people to get bread. 16.2% of home listings experience price cuts. I'm telling you, I'm not telling you this because I'm trying to make you feel good. I'm not telling you this because I'm trying to sell you something. I'm telling you this because this is the truth. This is what your realtor will not and cannot share with you. Okay? Let's go to number 4 right over here. Okay, with the South leading at 18.4% and the West at 17%. Prices in the buyer's market are barely moving. Home prices rose about 1.6% year over year, right? 38 buyer markets. We talked about that compared to the 4.8 in the seller's market. I got these 5 points. I put these 5 points with the data together for you, okay? Even better, well-priced homes still sell in about 63 days. That's what we're seeing in the market in Atlanta, sometimes a little bit sooner, sometimes a little bit later. Nationally, 63 days, but overpriced homes sit for about 121 days. That's when you make your money. 58 days on the market, 58-day market spread. That's what Housing Wire is saying. And that's 58 extra days for sellers sweating, and they're hoping and dropping prices. And you got to know how they call me. you got to understand. I've had these listings on the market, my man. Quick timeout. If you're serious about winning in Georgia real estate, grab my Georgia off-market property list right now. These are hidden opportunities most buyers and investors never see. And we do the heavy lifting so you can focus on locking up deals and growing your portfolio. Hit the link in the description and download it now. All right, let's get back to the video. Before the war with Iran began, the 30-year fixed mortgage rate had fallen about 6%. But rates are back up since then. And we spoke about that already. But you got to be optimistic, meaning most buyers are staying on the sidelines. But here's the play. By now, while competition is gone, date the rate, refinance when the rate drops. Redfin is predicting the mortgage rates will average about 6.3% in 2026, below the 6% that we spoke about earlier. Smart buyers, y'all going to take advantage of this. That is the whole play. We don't do things when things are great. We do things when great things are terrible. Yeah, I bought and I flipped the property and I had 15 people coming in and giving me offers and all these different things. That was because selling was hot. You were guaranteed to make it just by selling. So you should have just been buying and sell, buying and sell, buying and sell, and meeting that need. I am a believer that the mom and pop investor, when we garner enough of us together, when properly educated, we're going to turn around and be the reason why the market is able to recover, because there's a ton of houses sitting down in Baltimore, in DC, in Atlanta, Miami, Charlotte, dilapidated properties, Greenville. I've been there, I've seen it. These houses are they need to be sold or flipped, rehabbed, wholesaled. So either someone can come in and buy it to rehab, or someone can come in and buy it and fix it to rent it out. Okay? I can preach this till I'm blue in the face. The least amount of risk as an investor right now puts you in a place of creative financing and wholesaling deals. Like, subscribe, follow, because that's what I'm going to talk about, wholesaling deals, and we're going to talk about the culture. Then we might talk about dating in Atlanta. Who knows?